Welcome to Kennel Island. Shipwrecked and awaiting rescue, I'll be uncovering the survival kits selected by fellow members of the kennel and finding out why they picked them. They have 6 items to get them through. 1 food item, 1 drink, 1 personal item, 1 song, 1 book, and 1 movie. So join me as I discover what our castaway creatures have chosen to get them through their stay on Kennel Island. Hello and welcome to Kennel Island, where I am very pleased to be joined by our special guest this evening. We are in the presence of royalty here, people, so please all rise for His Majesty, Mr. Puppy Netherlands Pup King. Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, everyone watching. Hello. Hi there.
Now, it is Mr. Puppy Netherlands, isn't it? Because I saw Mr. Puppy NL, I just assumed it was Mr. Puppy Netherlands.
Yeah, it's Mr. Puppy Netherlands. It's like, you have Mr. Puppy UK, but yeah, you could say Mr. Puppy United Kingdom. I don't know if you do that, but...
Perfect. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
NL, it sounds a little bit weird if you use it here, so we mostly just use Netherlands, yeah.
Cool. Excellent. So let's talk about the big day first of all. Your coronation of Pup King. So what was that moment like for you when you heard your name called as the winner of Mr. Puppy Netherlands 2021?
Well, it was quite surreal. It's like I never thought something like that would happen. It's something I maybe dreamt of, being like surrounded by puppies and being active in the pup community. So it was quite surreal. It was a crazy moment, to be honest. It's it's something I'll remember forever, probably.
I can only imagine what that feels like. The most I won was a free swimming pass for a year in my school when I was like 10 years old. That's all I've ever won. But this is...
Yeah, I wasn't the winner before, so to say, but
yeah.
So it really felt like an accomplishment in my eyes,
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really happy with that.
Excellent.
It was crazy, yeah.
Oh, what actually made you enter in the first place?
Good question. I was pretty active in the puppy scene. Not for long, but I did my best wherever I could, helping out, try to organize a few things. Some worked out, some didn't. And yeah, to be honest, a little bit of peer pressure, but that's how those things go.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was like I could give it a shot. Maybe see what I can do, see how it goes. Yeah.
And so you say obviously you hadn't been in the pup community long. How long had you been in before you got into this competition?
Well, before I got in the competition, I think maybe a good year.
Okay.
But I started out with puppy play like maybe 5-6 years before that.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I wasn't in a relationship where I could like experience it the way I wanted. So that was kind of holding me back to go public with puppy play, to go to meetings, events, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped for a while and just put it on a low, and eventually the relationship I was in, wasn't working. We both wanted other things. So I was like, all right, let's stop it on a friendly base. So that was pretty good. And after that, it was, I need to go back to the puppy scene. I need to be there, and that's what I really want and what makes me happy. So that's
nice.
I had some experience, but not really publicly.
Okay. And so obviously all those years ago, how did you actually find out about the pup community? I mean, what first sort of sparked your interest? Where did you see it?
Well, I found it like on accident. I was like playing around with my partner back then, and it was actually we had kind of like a kinky relationship, really innocent, but we tried, and so it was like, yeah, treat me like a dog. And so that worked out, and I liked it. And for some reason, I think I got involved with Fat Life back then, and that's how I was like, holy shit, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
So that's how I just met some people who were really early in the Dutch pup community, and that sparked my interest, and that is when I knew, all right, this is what I want to do for now.
Excellent. That's awesome. And I mean, the Dutch seem to have a very kind of open-minded attitude towards these kind of things. They're obviously very liberal people. So when you take things out into the community, I mean, do you go properly out into the community? Do you wear your gear outside in the public?
Well, it depends on the situation. It's not like I would go out, shopping or just go to the city with my gear on. But there's several events when you're a title holder. You get invited to events where there's other communities, other kings, or maybe no kings at all, but mostly just regular parties, whatever. Just people like it. So when I go to those sort of events, that's when I would wear my outfit. But it's not like I walk around on the street with it. So
No. And strange thing is, I've seen lots of posts about that where some people do that. Some people go to the supermarkets and things. I mean, do you think that kind of thing should be avoided, where we should keep our pup lives separate from everyday human life?
that's a good question. I think it's a personal thing, obviously, but I'm not a big fan of forcing kinks or fetishes on people who don't ask to be involved.
Yeah.
But there's a line. I don't think it would harm anyone if you walk around with a hood in a supermarket or through a city or anything. But there should be a line where people don't start to feel uncomfortable with it. So maybe also depends where. If I would be in Amsterdam, for example, that's a different thing than I would be here in my little village. That
Yeah.
it's so dependent on the situation, what you're wearing, what you're doing.
No, you're absolutely right. Completely agree with you. And going on the basis of what you're wearing and things. I mean, obviously, I've noticed that your pup hood, and I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
No worries. So, one thing I wanted to know, obviously, in life, we all find our own identity, and we don't always feel accepted as who we are, who we know we are. In the pup community, it's very different. We all kind of accept each other for who we are. I think that's a very big part of the pup community. But finding your identity, how important do you think it is to find your identity as a pup? And that's, things like your gear, your pup name and things like that. I mean, how important was that for you?
It was pretty important. Yeah, it's like I had some trouble with that. I had like this little identity crisis going on for a short period where I wasn't really sure, what direction I wanted to go. I do have a lot of different interests and fetishes, but it is, I think, really important to find your inner pup persona, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that isn't, but I think it grows with you as well. At first you're pretty unsure, but along the way you meet people, you certain people cross your path, some negative, mostly positive, and I think those are all factors which can determine how you end up presenting yourself in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did you find your name? Because Pup King, where did that, is that part of your name? How did that come about?
Well, the funny thing about it is, that's the name I got when I started first with my partner, way back, and it actually came from, I don't know if you play games a lot, but it came from Tekken. I was a really big Tekken fan.
Okay.
And So that's why we have this character King, and I always played with King, and so that was like I need a pup name. I wanted a tag back then, so I was like, yeah, let's do King, and so that's actually where it originated from, and it's not something I associated myself with anything royal or regal or a status thing, and that's something I now sometimes feel like a little bit of arrogance about it. It's not like I want to put myself as a king or a king of pups or a pup king, but it's yeah, but that's actually where it originated from. So
Nice.
it stayed, it grew on me. So I was like, yeah, let's just keep it. Yeah.
That's cool. I always get fascinated with pups' names and how they came about them. But yeah, it's good. I did wonder, like, Pup King. Do I think this pup thinks he's royalty? I didn't think that at all. You seem like a really nice person, so it's fine.
Oh, thank you. So, how did you get how did you get your name then?
Mine's a kind of a weird story because all my life I've been a very shy person, and when I first met my partner, I'm not going to go into too many details, but Dommy is short for Dominic's, and you can imagine where this is going. Because I was so shy and retiring, I suddenly changed when I got into my pup persona when I was with him. And I didn't have a name at that point. I didn't really have a name. And he sort of said that I was a bit like a dominatrix. That's all I can really say about that. And so it kind of stuck. It became Dommy, and then I made it into a name like Dominic's to sound like it was a proper name. And it kind of stuck. I mean, I'm not that way all the time. I'm a very nice person, very gentle. But I just thought it sounded unique, and that's how it stuck. It's not the best name in the world, but it does me. It does me fine.
Yeah, it's all right. It's the first time I've heard it.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. I even got it on a hoodie, so.
Yeah. Oh wow! I gotta get me one of those.
Oh yeah, definitely. So how do you get into your pup headspace then? I mean, do you find it just you can switch on like a light when you go into your kind of pup zone?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I used to give workshops on workshop on pup play.
Nice.
And it is something I discussed there as well. What used to do it for me is one technique you can use is to just do it like sort of meditation. And one technique that I learned when I was in the beginning of puppy play is to just lie on your back, just relax, and start breathing in, out, relaxing, and visualize the transformation to a puppy. That's something I talked about on the workshop as well. I explained it, did a little exercise with it, and that works well for a lot of people. Now that I'm more active in the community, I don't play as much anymore, I think. It's mostly socializing. When you go to events, there's a lot of friends you got to see that you haven't seen in a while. So I'm not really that much on the play floor anymore, which is also sad a little bit, but that's how things go. But I do occasionally get really in my headspace when I'm with my alpha, for example, and that's when I really get treated like a puppy. So that can trigger my headspace. I should get back on all fours more, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy times, so I don't play much at home. I do have a boyfriend who's puppy as well. What I mostly do with him is maybe fun to know. When we go to events or when we're at home or whatever, we usually have the rule when you put on the collar and you put on your hood, you don't talk anymore. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
After that, you don't talk unless we take it off again.
Wow.
That's something that can help as well. but it usually helps, yeah, more if you have like an owner or a handler, or yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's really interesting, actually. Yeah, I have heard of other pups doing that when obviously the gear goes on and you're in kind of play mode. You are literally like a puppy. Puppies can't talk, so neither should you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Now, talking about how things are at the moment, obviously you're right, crazy times. How has COVID kind of affected your position as Mr. Puppy Netherlands? I mean, are you still able to fulfil your role, even though we're kind of the country's in? Is the Netherlands in full lockdown, or what? How do you fulfil your role during these times?
Well, I think in March is, I believe last year, beginning of March was Darklands.
Uh-huh.
And that was actually the last time I got out as a puppy or went to an event.
Yeah.
So after that, it just crashed. I mean, I was, yeah, it was, I think, yeah, it was the last event. It was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the hard thing is there's a lot of online meetings, stuff like that. We did some bingo and pub quizzes as well, but I've always seen myself more as an on-the-spot title holder.
Okay.
I'm not really that into doing online things that much. So it's been really tough. I tried to get into some things, but it's always hard. There's so much restrictions going on with what you can do, and so it's really been on the low for the past year. So it's
So do you,
pretty much all I've done is just try to organize some things, be a part of things, but I really like to go out there. That's my thing. I like to be there, talk with people, have fun, and I really miss that.
it is horrible. It's horrible for a lot of people. Do you find that a lot of your followers, say on Twitter, do they message you a lot? I mean, do they? And if they do they message you for guidance or just or what? Because I mean, I've seen some pups have got thousands and thousands of followers, but they don't really interact with them. I mean, do you have? It sounds like a cliche, but do you have a fan base or anything?
Well, no, I don't like to think. I don't think I have a fan base actually. Of course, I'm in several group chats. I do have a really close group of friends around me that support me.
Yeah.
Who know me personally really well, not only as a puppy. But yeah, it's not like I have a real fan base. I think in the Netherlands, everyone is really sober about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that different in the UK. But it's not like I see myself as someone. I don't know how you say it in English, but that people should look up to or really follow what I do. That's not something that's me. Yeah.
So, well, what was your point then of getting into the competition and taking this position? I mean, did you have a kind of a vision of what you wanted to do to change things or to influence people? Then, obviously, you don't see yourself as someone with followers and what have you, but I mean, you must. I'm saying you must have, but did you not have some kind of vision of what you wanted to do with your role?
The funny thing is, I got asked this on the night, where the election was. Then I noticed that I maybe haven't thought about it that much. So I just said, I just want to have fun. I just want to make puppy play fun.
Nice.
Like we have women in our community. We have different genders in our group. There's all sorts of different people in our community. Also, thanks to our previous Mr. Puppy, I have to say, who really was an advocate also for different genders in our community. Of course, I support that with everything.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like I just want to have fun. It needs to be fun again. Just not that it wasn't before, but that's my goal. It's just me. I can pretend to be something really political or have a real vision, but no, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Just, puppy play is fun, and we should celebrate it.
Yeah.
That was my answer when they asked me, what do you want to do when you're Mr. Puppy? I just said, let's have some fun with each other.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. I think, the whole ethos of being a puppy is to be like a puppy. And all the puppy wants to do is have fun and be happy and love. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that message at all. I think that's quite right. The world is a tough place, and so we need to have fun. We need to be able to switch off and just enjoy ourselves. So that is still a very valid message to carry and to show people. So yeah, good on you. That's a great message to have, in my opinion.
Yeah, and with all due respect, I absolutely respect people who are more into activism. But I don't think that's really me. It would not really suit me if I just started to try and be an activist. Of course, I support good causes, but that's not what drove me to become Mr. Puppy. Unfortunately, I really haven't had the chance to produce the fun I had in mind, but it wasn't the vision when I started.
No, exactly. And your time will come, I'm sure. And do you get to run again, like in the future for the title?
That's a good question. I don't know. I should look into that.
Yeah. If it was the case, would you do it? That's the other question.
Well, for now, that's a good question.
I have lots of good questions. I'm a good host.
I've noticed. Jesus, you're killing me. But I think I would, but just to make up for the year that just stuck so hard.
Yeah.
I was elected in October.
Yeah.
And I had until, like I said, March, and after March just went.
Absolutely.
So I've had a short while where I had some fun, but I would do it again just to make up maybe for the time, but I probably leave in a year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, well that's good. I mean, yeah, just see how the world goes and the things settle again, so that then that you can definitely fulfill your role when things have calmed down. I think that is probably pretty wise. I'm quite surprised that competitions like this still go on. They've probably died off a little bit, I suppose, during COVID. I don't know, but I was quite surprised that it still was going on when there was, the world is so limited right now. But I guess they still need to give people a bit of hope and a bit of fun, something to look forward to, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, good answer. Now, we're going to move on from all the heavy questions and to my usual format of the show, which is the Kennel Island format. So, as you probably read, and as all my viewers know out there, I am stranded on a desert island and I have a pup friend to join me. Until we're rescued, you have 6 items to keep you going. Those items are 1 food item, 1 drink item, 1 book, 1 movie, 1 song, and 1 personal item. So I am going to ask Pup King what of these 1 items of each individual topic you would take to the island. So let's go with number 1. What would be your 1 food that you could live off every day, you can't change it, until you are rescued? So what would that food item be?
Oh, wow. Food. It has to be fries. Yeah. Or chips, as you would call it.
Yeah.
It's like maybe like a side dish, but I could eat it with everything. Like, I love steak and meat and spare ribs and stuff like that. But it wouldn't be that without the fries or
Yeah.
chips.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll have to be that one.
Nice. And would you have dry fries, or have you heard of dirty fries or dirty chips, dirty fries, where it's sort of like covered in either like cheese or it's covered in a sauce or something, or would you just have fries dry?
No, with mayonnaise.
Oh, love mayonnaise. Mm.
That's like I don't know if I don't think the mayonnaise with fries is really a big thing in the UK. I guess not, but
It is for me, but probably not for everyone.
so yeah, it'll definitely be fries with mayonnaise and yeah, frikandel. You don't know what a frikandel is, but if you had it, you'd say, yeah, I want a frikandel again.
Freaking
It's like
hell.
this meat sausage. It's like processed, gross meat, but I love it.
That's not like a fricadella, is it? I don't know. It sounds.
Yeah, how do you explain a frikandel when someone's not from Holland?
I,
That's
I,
weird.
I don't.
I'd say Google it. Don't search how it's made or what the ingredients are. I guess, but wake me up at night and feed it to me. I'll be happy.
Nice. Beautiful. All right. And then what would be your one drink? Now, this can be alcoholic. It doesn't have to be, but yeah. What would your one drink be that will keep you going?
It'll probably alcoholic. I'm gonna be honest. I think it would be beer. I think a good beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I brew together with my boyfriend. We make our own beers as
Oh,
well.
wow.
So yeah, that's something I really enjoy on a let's say a healthy basis. It's not
Yeah.
like we drink every day, but we love tasting good beers.
Nice.
That would be something I would take definitely.
Have you given your beer a name? Have you named your beer yet?
Well, no, we haven't named it yet, but how do I translate this? For fun, we named the brewery the Drunken Sheep in Dutch.
Nice.
So that's a long story, but we haven't named it yet. But sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just fails miserably, and we spent 2 months making beer with it being total shit. But
Yeah.
when it works, it's so satisfying.
I
So, yeah.
bet it is, yeah. One day we're going to have to hear the story about the drunken sheep because I think there's a big story there that's probably not for daytime viewing. I don't know. But
Stay tuned for part 2.
absolutely. Lovely. Okay. Moving on then. What about? I've said this before on all my vlogs, and it's sort of. I'm not a huge reader. I've read a few books, but books. I prefer to write. I'm a writer and an actor, and so all my things come out and they end up on paper and then shoved in a drawer somewhere. But are you a book person? Do you read a lot or?
I can enjoy books. I have quite some comics laying around. Maybe you can't really consider comics a book.
I do. It's a comic book.
Yeah, you're right. I have to remember that one. One, I like books from Chuck Palahniuk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the guy that wrote Fight Club, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do I pronounce that right? Chuck Palahniuk? Yeah, something like that. It's
Possibly.
I believe a Polish name or something. But that's a writer that I really enjoy the novels from because of the style of writing. I'm not a big reader myself, but yeah, I can enjoy it from time to time.
Nice. I mean, I obviously I know about Fight Club, but I don't know about the author. You're more than likely right, for all I know. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably just a Harry Potter reader. That's all I've really read books wise. But I like anything fantasy just to take me away from the big bad world.
I haven't read Harry Potter, but I do enjoy the films.
Oh yeah.
I think I could really understand why people enjoy the books as well, although I haven't read them.
Yeah.
But it's just because they're like too big for me. It's like I
Oh, yeah. My concentration goes so quickly when I'm reading. I just sort of drift off and do other things. But yeah, the movies are understandably fantastic. Everybody loves the movies. And talking, yeah.
It isn't really my genre per se,
Uh-huh.
but I do enjoy them. Yeah, I have to say that I have enjoyed. I believe it's one of the first movies I've seen in theater.
Oh, wow.
In the cinema when yeah, I believe it was. Yeah,
Wow.
probably the first Harry Potter. Yeah.
Blimey. Shows how young you are.
Yeah. Yeah, or how little I went to the cinema.
Yeah. Talking of movies then, that's obviously the next subject. So what would be the number one movie that you still can watch over and over again, when you want to watch a movie? What do you think, I could watch that again?
That's an easy question. That has to be Terminator 2.
Terminator 2, throwback. Nice.
Yeah, every day of the week if I have to. I've seen it 100 times and I'll probably watch it 100 times more.
Wow.
I like have a dedicated display just for Terminator that every day. Yeah. I mean, Arnold is like the sexiest man in leather you can imagine, and just him riding this bike, carrying shotgun and everything, it was like, wow, masterpiece.
Wow.
Totally.
That's really interesting. And is that so? What is it that draws you about that movie? Is it just Arnold on the bike in his leathers?
Mostly. No. I think because I'm really a movie enthusiast since I was a kid, and it was probably one of the first action movies I saw as a kid, watching it with my father. So it might be partially nostalgia as well. But I don't know. It just the whole idea of it, it's not really something that I can explain. But
No.
I just love it. I can watch it every time. I know all the ins and outs.
Yeah.
It was Terminator 2.
It was a great movie. What do you think of the newer ones? I mean, do you think they compare at all with T2?
No.
No.
Not at all.
Quite right.
3 was enjoyable and acceptable.
Yeah.
It's like for me, it kind of stopped after 3.
Yeah.
Some of them were not bad, but they did not have the same feeling, atmosphere. And that's what I really enjoy about movies like Terminator 1 and 2 is it was an era where special effects were so new.
Yeah.
And it only was used when necessary. Like explosions were explosions, crash cars were crash cars.
Yeah.
And, when you watch the new movies, it's like you're watching an animated movie, and that's it's not something that speaks to me. So.
No, I totally agree. Totally agree with that. Okay, going on to the song. Now, I've explained this before. You can't choose an entire album. It has to be one song that just keeps you motivated and keeps you, smiling through the bad times.
That's also a good one. I enjoy music, but it's like one spectrum, one end of the spectrum all through the other. I think if I had to choose one song, it will probably be the Sound of Silence from Paul Simon and Garfunkel. That's I think probably that one is something I can hear over and over again, and I just love it. It has this emotional tone as well.
Yeah.
But I probably think that one.
Can you remember where you were when you first heard it, or how it stands out in your mind?
Well, if I could choose an album, if you would ask me, what album would you use or would you choose? I would say, Paul Simon and the Graceland album, purely because that was what we listened when we went on vacation when I was a kid, was the one CD my dad had in the car.
Yeah.
So I know it, every song just out of my head.
Nice.
But I don't know, the Sound of Silence, it just has this underlying thing that can be interpreted the way that you want it to be.
Totally.
So yeah, I'd probably say that one. Yeah.
Nice choice. I like Paul Simon in general. I think his music's very good. Last one then. Your personal item. So this is something that once again just keeps you going. Something you can use or look at that keeps you motivated and gives you a bit of maybe a bit of hope. But it's something that's personal to you that you could not really do without.
Wow. I think it's probably my collar or necklace, including the tags.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, because I received the collar from my alpha, who's a really, really dear person to me. And I don't know if I can show you. But on it, there's the tag that I have with my boyfriend, which says owner of Mac, which is my boyfriend. And behind it, I have the tag that you receive when you participate in the Dutch Puppy Contest.
Oh, nice.
So, this is probably when I really have a bad day, I just, look at the necklace, and that's when I think, yeah, all right, I have people around me which are really close to me, dear to me. That's what pulls me through at different times, definitely, yeah.
That's really nice. There's a beautiful sentiment to that as well. And it's nice when you can choose personal items that have proper meaning and sort of like, yeah, they give you a bit of hope and inspiration. It's something that we're all kind of needing at the moment anyway, on a desert island or not. We kind of need something to cling to at the moment. And I think things like that probably do help you through if you're feeling a bit low, a little bit lost. But that's beautiful. That's a really nice choice. So,
I'm curious, did anyone ask you the same question?
I have no idea.
If you could take one personal item, what would you take?
So, there is one thing. Have I got it on me? Yes, I have. So, it's, if I can put my hand on it, this. So you can't see it very well, but it's greenstone. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like jade, the material. But I've got permanent residency over in New Zealand, even though I live in the UK. And over there, I lived there for about 7 years. But it's where I really opened up. And I made an amazing friend who's transgender. And at the time, I was volunteering at a lot of Pride events. And I met her. And she kind of changed my life because she was so open and honest about who she is, that she taught me not to be afraid. There were times where she stood up to these bullies who would sort of giving her a bit of hassle. I was there to help out, but she was just like, no, I get this all the time and I'm never going to change. And she told me to be strong and to be open always, because I was still a little bit shy of being and saying that I was gay and things. I kept things to myself. But now, since meeting her, I'm a changed person. I really, really am. And one night when we were chatting and I said, listen, I'm going home to the UK, and we shed tears and things. And greenstone's very, very precious. So people give it to you as a gift. You cannot buy it for yourself. It has to be gifted to you. So it was gifted to her by her best friend, and she just took it off her neck and put it around mine and said, don't ever forget. And that was it. And it just, killed me inside to leave her and the country behind. But I wear it I literally do not take it off ever. And this gives me hope. This gives me that power to move on.
That's beautiful. Have you ever seen her after?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, to get to New Zealand costs so much, and it's such a, I would travel any distance, but the price is unbelievable. I will be going back once the world opens up. I will go back and visit because I try and keep in touch with her online, but she's on and off all the time. She's got a busy life, and I appreciate that, But I will. I want to go back there and see my friends and family that I've left behind there one day, and I will. But this isn't about me.
No, but I'm just curious. But
Thank you.
it's a beautiful story. Actually, it's hard keeping up with friends on a long distance, and that's something I think a lot of people can relate to during this whole pandemic. Is that some friends have never how do you say it? Never felt so far away.
Yeah.
And even though most of my friends are living within 2 hours, it's so hard to meet certain people, and you miss them so very much. And it's hard to maintain a friendship or a relationship when you're far away and can't really interact with each other in person. So
Yeah.
I can imagine that must be difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when it's someone really dear to you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, thank you for sharing as well.
Well, thank you for asking me, because I don't ever really talk about it because it just doesn't come up. But yeah, thank you very much for that. Now, before we go, we're going to end in a second. But do you have a message for anybody out there, or for everybody out there at all?
Well, it's easy to say, but I really want to say try and stay positive. I mean, I have ups and I have downs, and there are deep downs and high ups, and it's really important to just stay strong, reach out to people, really reach out to people when you're having a bad day. Maybe people cannot help you, but just reach out, ask people for help if you need to, get it professionally if you need to. There's no shame in that. Just try to take care of yourself in your own way. There will be a day when I can probably give you a hug somewhere, and maybe it's not now, but it will come. And just try to keep focused on staying strong. We'll get through it. Patience, it's really crappy, but we have to. And try to get as much positivity from the people around you as while you can.
Absolutely, that's a beautiful message as well. And that's one of the reasons that I do this show, is to encourage people to join communities and make friends. If you're feeling alone, you can always come to the Kennel. All the links are below, but we're one big community. We're always welcoming people every single day into the community. People who feel alone, people with mental health issues that they want to talk about, even if you don't want to talk about it and you just want to be around people. Communities like this are very, very important to keep people's morale, keep people's spirits up when they're feeling alone and lost. Never ever suffer alone. As you just said yourself, talk to someone, even if it's a professional, if it's a friend or a family member. Do not keep things to yourself. It's the worst thing to do. No one will ever judge you if you're open and honest with them in a community, or if they're a loved one. If they're truly your friends, then they're going to support you. So drop all the baggage and just start making new friends, new connections. I was about to say get out there. You can't even do that anymore. But get out there online and start opening up, because it's the most important thing in life to do, is to talk, is to communicate. So we will leave it there. I want to say a huge thank you to Pup King, Mr. Puppy Netherlands 2020-21. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for giving me your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's a great honor to be here talking with you. I really enjoyed it. You're excellent at doing this. I think you're a great guy. So
Thank you.
hopefully, one day I'll keep you to that hug. I'll
Uh,
keep you to it.
I'll be waiting. I'll be ready and waiting, I promise you. All right, well, let's end the show there. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. What's left of it? Is it half? No, it's 8:45 over there, isn't it, I think? Around that?
Yeah.
Ah.
Right. Yeah.
Good. Haven't kept you up too late then. I'm glad.
That's fine. It's any day.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you once again, and thank you everybody for watching. We will see you next time on Kennel Island. Bye for now. If you would like to get to know other pups and critters around the world, be sure to click the link tree below, and you'll find links to our Discord server, our Twitter page, and Instagram. Signing up to our community is quick and simple, and it'll be the best decision you ever made. So come and check us out today, and we'll see you at the Kennel on Discord.